in a variety of roles there. If I were to tally them all up, it would be comedy co-editor, staff writer, TV editor, gaming and TV editor, and culture editor. So that, and I've also worked at places like the Pentagraph Punch. I've written for the New Zealand Herald, for Metro, and for other various online outlets. So that's kind of my experience in the modern media landscape. That's what I'm bringing tonight. And kind of what I pitched and am here to speak about is kind of the ways in which audiences and writers interact with each other in the media, because I think that's quite fascinating, and I think that we're in an unprecedented time. And I think that the ways in which we all interact with each other on both sides of that transparent fence that is the media is really interesting. So that's what I'll be talking about. If there's any questions throughout, I'm happy, this is a chill vibe. You all seem like real chill people. I'm happy to, if someone just shoots up a hand, I'll be like, what do you have to say? Or ask, hopefully, and not say. And then we can just address that as it goes along. And we're also being live streamed to, I'm sure, the homes of my spiteful friends who can't be here in person. Great. For a first exercise, because everyone loves some bit of audience interaction on a Friday night, who here reads at least 2 news outlets in a day? Hands up. Thank you. Who here would know at least the names of 5 people who report in news outlets? Yes, she will come up later. And would any of you follow those people regularly, regardless of the outlet that they wrote for? Hands up or hands down. Good to know. Yeah, so we'll come up later. So my first kind of thread of this talk, which is navigating the modern media landscape, is the way in which we, as readers, interact with the people who are generating the news. So again, show of hands, whomst of you watched the 1 o'clock press briefings throughout COVID-19? Yeah, through at least the first lockdown. Yeah, yes. Of those people who had hands up, had you watched a press conference that was held by a government official prior to COVID-19? Was this a new experience for you? Oh, a few of you. Interesting. That wasn't what I was expecting, but that's good for me. We would go how many cases are there of COVID-19, and are we still at this level? Do I still have to hang out at home? And that's actually very abnormal. I think it's worth pointing out, the whole nation being locked. It's not normal, but the whole nation just watching the same press conference at 1 o'clock is a deeply abnormal thing anywhere in the world. And I think a very strange thing that emerged from that is a weird relationship between watchers and the people who are asking questions. Because I feel like a few of us, and I'm included here because I watch those and I'm a little bit engaged with that side of things. It was quite common to get frustrated with the lines of questioning that some people were. I can see some smiles and nods just for the people at home, either now or in the future. Some nods were nodded. Yes, and I felt, and it's interesting seeing kind of the aftermaths of that, because people continue to tune into those press conferences in a way that they did not in any sort of numbers prior to this. And it's led to a strange relationship between consumers and especially that kind of journalist who has press gallery accreditation. Because we're mostly used to seeing the result of all those aggressive lines of questioning, not actually seeing them. So, and then people started to get fairly upset at the persistent lines, but even though they're mostly used to just seeing the results of that. And I think that's because, for better and worse, journalists are a lot more accessible now, and the people who make the news and the people whose job it is to speak the truth to power are so much more accessible. For example, me, if you look up Sam Brooks right now, I can swear that will have like a line right there in about 30 seconds. You'll either have my Instagram handle, my Facebook, or my email, or some form of contact for me within about half a minute. That is abnormal. That is not a normal experience, and that's never happened before in the history of the media. And that leads to I think, a class of people who write and who report on the news being quite sensitive, because lots of us aren't used to being questioned on, say, for example, to use those press briefings as an example. Lots of us aren't used to being questioned. Are used to being called on a line of questioning. Oh, you've got one person, multiple people, or just people waiting outside? Yes, it's great live content. Hello, sorry. So we're not, I'm not used to that. I think I actually am probably a little bit more used to it because I have a background / a foreground sometimes as a playwright. So I'm very used to people responding in the moment. If someone goes I don't think that's a good play, they will show it to you on their face because they're sitting in the crowd not enjoying it. And it's not the normal experience that you would get if you're just a casual news reporter, but suddenly it's much more access to the people who report the news, and that is not inherently bad, but it's not inherently good, and it requires a negotiation of, I think, the contract between both audience and journalists and power, I suppose, because sometimes it's not comfortable to speak truth to power, and sometimes people aren't happy when you call someone who is in power on the things that they're doing. A few people in the press gallery got a lot of shit. I'm sure it's okay to say that, for asking what would be quite reasonable lines of questioning, and that's not a normal experience. And this links into my next point, which I have on my handy-dandy phone, which is that critique is not cancellation. And which I think I have to say a few times. Critique is not cancellation. It is fine for you to be critiqued. I have received many a note in my time as a playwright. I have received many an email in my time as someone who writes about art. I have received, I think, as of this speaking, I've received about 57 emails about a Pokemon ranking I did about 18 months ago. I've received more emails about that than I have about anything in my career. And none of those people were attempting to cancel me, but critique, and I would also struggle to call that critique, but that's another thing entirely. But critique is not cancellation, and I think that's a really important thing for journalists to know, but that's also a really important thing for people who interact with people who report and who write on the news, that it is fine to be upset with a journalist who is meant to be speaking truth to power and who is at the core of their job, performing a public service. It's not a glamorous job, though I have dressed up as how it is. It's fine for the public that you serve to speak truth to you. And I guess I'm speaking mostly to the camera there. But yes, it is kind of that point. And it's that the way in which we consume news has changed because the people who report the news are so much more accessible, especially in a country that's this size. People get familiar with people who are trolling them constantly, and that's not great for the news. So I guess my kind of, hints are if you want to criticize someone, absolutely legit. I have wanted to do that so many times, but have held back because I like my job. It's a very lovely job, rep the Spinoff. But yeah, I would say to you as consumers of news, as readers of news, it is fine to critique the people who are reporting your news, who are performing your public service, because they're there for you. They're not actually there to make the people in power comfortable. It's okay to criticize Jacinda Ardern. It's okay, and it's okay to criticize and critique Ashley Bloomfield. And they're both incredibly smart, normal people who can handle a bit of questioning every day. That's their jobs. And that's the first thread of this talk. I have a very... next thread. So I have worked as a writer and as someone who commissions people It's to write for about 3 years now, and what I've really learned in that time, I commissioned people to write about comedy, games, gender, theatre, culture, art, just a wide range of topics. And the thing I've realised across that time is that the era of the weekly columnist is over. Because, and I say this as someone who, I would write about roughly 3 to 4 things, like a week, across a range of things. But the age of opening up the newspaper, this is a great mime, by the way. And just expecting someone's take every week on what the news of that week is over, because and I think it's a good thing, frankly, because no one needs to have their opinion published every week. It's roughly 60 people in this room. Take that, CNZ. And you all have a different area of expertise that like I frankly don't have. And if I were to ask, I don't know lots of people in this audience, but like if I were to ask you what yours was, it would be, I assume, very different from what mine is, and I would perhaps want to commission you on whatever that is. If it's woodcrafting or if it's astronomy. Like, I don't know how to write about those things, but you might. Oh, you know how to write? No. It's fine. No, but yes, no, like, and I think, like, the like, age of just having, that's one person to write every week about a topic, it's kind of over. And I also think, it's just not less of those voices, but the people who have traditionally held those places tend to be legacy holdovers. Like, I can name maybe 3 writers who, like, I would be like, I want to read what you have to say about something every week. And those are not necessarily the writers who would be hired by, say, the mainstream outlets, say RNZ, the Herald stuff. I would read Kim Hill on anything every day of, like, the week, but that's another thing entirely. Rachel Stewart. I'm sure she's got lots of fans in this audience, but like no one needs to necessarily hear what she's got to say about transgendered people. It's just not a thing that needs to happen. So like what actually has happened in like the past, but like, and that wouldn't happen now, and that's a really good thing. And that's it's a trend, and I link back to like how like things are so much more like accessible now. Like we as writers are so much more accessible, both as readers, like as readers who are reading us, but also as if someone wanted to hire me, in theory, like to write about theatre, write about games, so on and so forth. I'm available, and no one has to like try read, say, Simon Wilson write about Spyro, for example. Though, like I would pay significant money to read Simon Wilson write about Spyro. But that's, that's my own thing. That's not, it should not be in the Herald. Oh, yes, and this is my third thread, and that's about a writer, and that's as freelancers, but that's also as someone who writes for a very specific crowd. You need to know who you're writing for. That is, and I think that is very key in any art form. You need to know who you are writing for. I am really lucky in the work I am in at the Spinoff, and that I have a very good idea of who reads us. I know that I don't need to explain things like trans rights matter. That's kind of a given. It's not a thing that I need to be like, it's not a thing, it's not a thing I need to be like, have you heard of Stonewall? Like, it's like, there's certain things that, you can assume of the people who are reading you that is really good to know. I've completely gone up on my point. This is great content for the live stream. No. But like, and, it's like something that I'm not sure that people necessarily who are just people who consume the media know is like, oh my god, I guess it's a dark secret, who knows? But like, it's very easy to know how many people are reading what you've written, if it's from Facebook, if it's from Twitter, if it's from Google, if it's from some news app. Like, I can tell you within, I know that, and that's quite scary. Like, I find that as someone who writes things quite scary, that I know prior, like, to me even putting pen to metaphorical paper, like how many people will probably read this? And I think why I bring that up is because I think that it's really important, I think, as people who consume news, who consume like really well-written stuff, that you are not just reading like stuff from just say stuff. And I think that Stuff is great. Yeah, like I actually think that Stuff is doing a great job with its regional papers, but also like, yeah, you don't just read one thing, but like you read a range of outlets. You read stuff like the Paragraph Punch, you read the National Business Review, because as time marches ludicrously onwards, these publications will be specializing more and more. Like, I know that I have in the past few years. I used to write about theatre a lot, and now I write about it less, because also, yeah, it's just a bit less of it for some unknown plague reason. yeah, it's a lot less of it now. And I guess, yeah. This is now turned into like a plea, just like read more, read more. Like if you're not seeing something that you want to see, you have the power to enact that. You have access to us. You have access to me. I am very accessible on Twitter, Instagram, less so Facebook now, but like I'm very accessible on email. So like other people who run every paper, every like news website, all these people are accessible. If you want to see something covered, make yourself heard. You are so much more powerful as readers, as people who have the internet, as people who are there, have it, hopefully. But like, yeah, you have so much more power as consumers of media that I'm not saying that you can be like, write about this, or like, I'll never read you again. But like, you have the ability to tell people who make content, hate that word content, but who make content for you, you have the ability to tell them, I don't hear these stories, I'm not hearing them from you, I trust you as a news source, why aren't you writing about this? And sometimes it's like because they're not the right news source. Like for example, it's like this Spinoff will not write about some obscure thing and some obscure place that you've not necessarily heard of. That's not what our permit is. But if there's like a news thing that you were like, I want this covered, this is happening in my city, this is happening in your country, why isn't this being covered? There are people to access, and it's like the Herald has that, Stuff has that, every single news place will have someone to email, like, to complain to. So what I'm saying is like, rather than, as well as tweeting at people in like the press gallery, stop asking this question, I hate you, message the people who employ them and be like, these are the stories that I'm not seeing covered, these are the stories I'm not seeing being asked, and that is a way to enact action, and it's a way to kind of get the stories that you want told. Because I can guarantee you, as someone who sees the hits on everything I write, you have way more power than I do in this situation. And that's where I've ended up with this talk. Half an hour perfectly. And now I'm open for questions. And I will answer anything, and it can be about like how to get into this bizarre industry, or like who I hate, who I love. Hopefully, not that, but yeah, no, but like I'm here to answer things that I can answer from my 5 years of expertise. Hello.
That makes sense. Yes, I'd like to ask how, and I've blanked, give me a second, about getting into the journalism industry, if that's all right.
Great. Yes. Like I wish I hadn't said that. No. Yeah. No. It's a joke. There's no one way is, I guess, the like most frustrating answer that is not very helpful. I had a quite strange entry into it. I got into it because I wrote reviews of plays. I wrote them for Crackham 9 years ago when I was 13. Yeah, it's a joke. Oh, but yes, no, and I kept on like writing like those things, and I like got to speak, it's like to people, and I got like to just learn how to like, here's how you run, I can interview. Here's how you transcribe an interview. Here's how you learn how to ask things properly, because you had to transcribe a 90-minute interview, like, and all those things are things I learned very much for free. Like, and I kind of just learned that on the job. For most people, you would study at university, but I would stress, I think, and I don't know the exact numbers of this, so I won't get fired for this, but I know that roughly about, I think half the people who are on staff at the Spinoff don't have a formal like degree in form. Like I don't. I have a bachelor in performing and screen arts. Like I don't have any skills that I guess the simplest way is like you need to know who you like, and if you're like, I want to write for them, you just be like, hey, I would like to write for you. What is the right way? It's like It's like to go I'm about that, and Spinoff, I think, has run like an internship every year now, but I'm not sure how it would work at like the Herald or say News Talk ZB or like Huff and Fairfax, but like it's probably the best way in. Like I'm not saying I don't recommend doing university, because that would be reckless of me. But like, if you've got the skills of like knowing how like to write, knowing how like to talk to people, knowing how to like report facts, like those are things that I think are better taught through living it than through studying for 3 years and then like doing an extra year of comms. It's my advice. Is that helpful? I'm sorry.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad. More questions or just comments or insults? I'm here for it. Thank you.
I know Gamergate was like a long time ago in internet years, but I'd be really interested in your comments on what the state is of games journalism now.
I love this. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm very happy. I think it's pretty shit, frankly. I think that games journalism has been a little bit broken because This is, this is probably, that's us here basically. But like, games companies have really kind of limited the access that people have to them. And so if you want to cover games, you basically have to be nice to the people who make them. And that's ruined for a long time any chance of there being any balanced reporting of that sector. It's changing slowly. It's also like the fact that so many people who have been allowed to be interested in that form are men. And that's shit. It's not right. But like, no one. Can I speak from experience-ish here? But like, no one wants to be the only person of their kind in like the room, and that's the same if you're playing a game or you're reporting on it. No one likes that experience. And I feel like that has a long way, it's happening slowly, but like I think it's still pretty fucked, and it will take a lot of really like considered hiring from people who cover that sector, like to fix that. It's like, and I don't, and I am frustrated about the way in which we report that here. There's nowhere that, as far as I know, has a reporter who is solely in that sector. And there's so many stories of bad shit happening in that sector in this country that no one, and it's such a specialized form that like you really need to know it to be able to write about it well. And I think I'm like, and I'll be thank you, I'm a good, I can write about other form pretty good, but like I'm not the right person to like investigate all the messed up things happening in that sector. But like, and I think that like New Zealand is really behind the curve on like good games journalism, but like the rest of the world isn't much like ahead of us either. So sorry, it's a bit fucked. Is my answer. Sorry about that. Any more questions? I'm happy to answer anything at this point. Hello.
This one's much less serious, but what was so controversial about this Pokemon ranking tier list that got you under so much heat?
I have a serious answer and a non-serious answer. So I go do the serious answer first. That piece was written, I was kind of experimenting with SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is actually I find fascinating, but is not of much interest to lots of people. But yes, no, and I was like, I knew that people would look for top 150 Pokemon, and that would head up first, as happened. And I ranked them because I was like, here's how I think they are, and I picked a controversial top pick. For people in the know, I picked, oh my god, I should, I picked Gloom was my favorite. Again, this means nothing to most of the people here, but I can promise you that's a controversial pick. And it got me like lots of hate, and then people sharing that got lots of clicks, they get lots of hate. And this is a benign form of this phenomenon. I'm sure no one was hurt. I really hope, and if someone was, I I wouldn't call that my fault. I don't think people should be that invested in that. Yeah, but yes, no, but that's why I had got that much hate. Is it's been read consistently for the past 18 months, and people keep on having thoughts and opinions. I think I ranked a few popular Pokemon close to the bottom, but I don't remember the actual rankings because they were like 150, and I like wrote I could like write up of each of them. It truly took me a long time, and I was paid for this, so I've really lucked into a good job, or to some people who are very forgiving of my specific kind of output, so to say. But yes, that's my answer. That's why people were so angry at me, because I did SEO optimization.
Okay, one other important question. Would you put Eevee on the list? Do you remember?
Absolutely in the top 30, but I can't remember. I'm sure it's very available online.
All right, thank you.
Sean, or
Mysterious man in the
stranger
back.
in the crowd.
You'd mentioned search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clickbait?
Not necessarily. Clickbait is headline only. So you see the headline and you go, I absolutely love this, or I absolutely hate this. Search engine optimization is everything from the headline to the stand first to the captions on every photo. So if, for example, I had captioned every photo in that with every name of the Pokemon in that photo, that would push that up the results. And it did. And that's why I get the emails I do. So it's a self-inflicted wound. But it's also a fun experiment, and also kind of scary. Like, it shows you why that you get shown the things online that you do get shown. The internet knows everything about you and knows everything you search. I am a conspiracy theorist now, but not clickbait, but not that far. It's a cousin of. Any more? Oh yes. Sorry. You have to have other mic first, and then I can be. Oh yes.
Obviously streaming services have gotten really big over the last decade or so. I was just wondering what effect you thought streaming services have had on the type of content that New Zealanders consume.
That's to clarify, by streaming services, you mean like Netflix, Neon, YouTube, or more like Twitch, YouTube?
More like Netflix, Amazon, HBO, all of those.
I can only really speak from my point of view, because I don't have another. But as someone who writes about culture, especially, it's it's really meant that I have a much wider scope of things I can, but also have to write about that I might not have in the past. The idea of us having a show at exactly the same time as the States or the UK would have been foreign, I would say even 5 years ago, but absolutely 10 years ago. And now that we can all be involved, not in exactly the same cultural conversation, but in very similar ones, has massively impacted the work that I do, especially, and the work that I can do. So I think that's the main one. But I also think the rise of esports, especially here, is something that I don't think has really been picked up on in a mainstream media. A random thing I find absolutely nuts that no one else here cares about you, but I have a platform, is like the Sky Tower in Auckland. Oh my God, yeah, it was such a douchey thing to say. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Has a full like esports studio that's around the like place of it that no one knows is there. I have like to like point it out. I get used to be this like fancy like gentleman's like smoking thing, but like it is this, and it's now just the suite of like 20 fully decked out esports studios that is owned, run by Sky City, and it's like, like, and I think that like the mainstream media, it makes me sound like a full-on conspiracy, but like hasn't really caught up to the fact that like lots of people here are not watching content that is necessarily made or streamed here, and like lots of people who like aren't from here are like watching a shit ton of stuff that is made here, and I don't think that either sector is really utilizing that as well as we can. Like, I think the like success of like ShanXO is like an example of that. Like, she was so much huger here. Oh, no, not here, but she was so much huger overseas than he was ever here, and I feel like that's the kind of exchange that we're still not good at covering here. So I think that's a long-winded answer to your question. The completely random tangent. I'm sorry, but like I just feel like people need to know that it's an esports studio that's in the base of like, and that's not like a and that's not like a weird kind of like like it's there. Like it's like signs and logos on it. It's very easily spotted. Anyway. Let's have one more, and then I feel like we can wrap up. Ask the most ridiculous random thing. Kia
ora. I was just a little bit curious, as a person who's both a critic and a creative.
Oh, I love this question.
The tension between that. Do you perceive a time when you might just have to walk in one direction and not the other, owing to that tension?
I absolutely saw it earlier on in my career. Like, because someone who writes plays as well as wrote about them, and is quite naturally not, and especially, I'm not someone who tends to hold back or tends to be soft. Like I really felt that kind of tension a lot, but I don't think that I don't think that I ever made the targets of my critiques the people who were involved. It was always the work. I think I've reviewed well over 100 shows in my life because I'm ancient. But, thank you. I think that I've only been but like I've only had one person ever not look me in the eye after I wrote something, and still won't 7 years after the fact. Which I just think is hilarious. But in like the past few years, I just go, I don't want to review something that like my friends are involved in. It's like I'd rather, because like I'm just not the best person placed now. Like, I could be real harsh about it or be nice, but like I know it's very traceable who I'm friends with. It's very obvious, and I don't ever want to be caught up on being too nice to a friend. And it's just like I would rather give that chance to someone who is neutral and just give them that platform now. Yeah, it's like, I don't need to write about everything now. Yeah, there's lots of other people. And also like, so few opportunities to review things now and like to have someone actually pay you like cold hard cash. That There's so many reasons to commission someone else than to be compromised and just feel a bit shitty if I have to be harsh on the thing of friends involved in. If like it calls for it, I probably still would be, but I feel that tension less and less now that I have the convenient and also quite good out of being able to commission other people and to help them get a platform. It's like, and to speak from the other side of it, like I've never, it's a lie, but like I try not to resent people who are harsh about things I've written, and I think that like, I think most people who write, I think if someone makes work, they should also have the experience of writing about work. I think they can only really, inform each other in really quite lovely way. I think that, I review now like maybe 5 things, like a month, and like it just makes me much better at my other art form because I'm so much more like aware of how these other art forms are made and how like to, I know, like I think that all people who make art should know how to write about art critically, or like at least speak about it critically, So I guess that's how I've managed that tension. But I think it is still one that's quite present and will be as long as I continue to write about art and make art. And I don't think I'll ever stop either because I like them both a lot. And I think like they're both mutually beneficial. Okay, it's me then. I have a thing. We love feedback. Complete this survey and be in to win a $50 voucher for the dog with 2 tails. And here is the QR code. Can they scan it through the camera? Yes. Thank you heaps. I've never talked solo about this stuff for like an hour, so yes, it's quite nerve-wracking for me. But I've all been so lovely, and I hope you've learned something. And and thank you to Gareth who asked me to be here and speak in front of you. It's been lovely and fun, and I'll see you around the rest of the festival and see you on the internet.